Oh my god, we got some huge news for every Witcher fan, because the first gameplay demo of The Witcher 4 was revealed today at the State of Unreal 2025 event, obviously showcasing Ciri as the new protagonist, but in the open world, which is Kovir. And as a hardcore Witcher fan, I will not talk about the technical stuff because they did all of that in the trailer and the reveal of the gameplay. I'll talk more about what that will actually mean for the lore and for the story, and some minor things that you probably didn't even notice watching the trailer in the first place. So let's talk about Kovir, let's talk about the world, and let's talk about some characters that we already know but will probably meet in The Witcher 4. So if you have not seen the trailer, I recommend to watch it on the official website of the event rather than on YouTube, because on YouTube they don't have 4K resolution. The resolution you're seeing right now on my video is better than what IGN is posting, but look at that world, it looks absolutely stunning and something quite different from what we know, even compared to Skellige, for example. For those of you who are not so deep into the Witcher lore, let me tell you a little bit about Kovir, what it is, and what you can think of when you hear the word Kovir. So Kovir is the wealthiest kingdom located in the far north of the continent, above Kaedwen and Redania. And it's geographically isolated, but also naturally defended by mountains and by seas. And Kovir is very reminiscent to Switzerland, both in the political state but also in the environmental state, because on one hand it's quite neutral and doesn't really get involved in wars, but on the other side, as you can see, it looks very similar to what Switzerland looks, with the Alps, with the beautiful nature and everything in there. And Kovir's landscape is known for the snow-covered peaks, the deep pine forests and crystalline lakes, and it might be cold and stormy there, but it's extremely beautiful, what we can also see in the gameplay trailer. And in the end of the trailer, they actually tell us that they have a surprise for Witcher fans. I knew what was coming, but they said that Lan Exeter, or a first glance into Lan Exeter for Witcher fans, and Lan Exeter is the capital city of Kovir, which is nestled in a valley surrounded by mountains, and it's kind of a blend of fortress and palace. People often describe it as a Venice, but more in a winterly style, and it houses the royal court, mage circles and financial institutions that manage vast national wealth. Think of it as a cross between kind of Novigrad, but cleaner, richer and colder, obviously. And Lan Exeter has never been shown in Witcher games, so it's quite of a big deal having that city in The Witcher 4. And Lan Exeter has been described a little bit in the books and in the games. It apparently has a lot of marble streets, multi-tiered markets and high towers for both mages but also for royal guards. And there's also a harbor that is built into a fjord, so if you're into Viking or Nordic stuff, you probably know what a fjord is, and it's very useful for trade and also defense. And when people talk about Kovir, it's always spoken as the jewel of the north, because it is the wealthiest kingdom in the whole continent. The people living there are also pretty rich, and Kovir is officially a vassal state of Redania, but in practice it's completely independent, because the rulers are shrewd and diplomatic and have a lot of money, are probably wealthier than any person we have met in the Witcher games, apart from obviously the kings. But the kingdom is part of a larger political entity, often called as Kovir and Povis, but Kovir is the more dominant partner. And Kovir is more tolerant of mages and non-humans, more so than more northern kingdoms. We'll see how that will change as we play the game, if it will be as hard or as racist towards Witchers as it was in The Witcher 3, but I'll probably doubt it, because mages or non-humans go to Kovir often to seek refuge or to be safe. And in the trailer we see a village also, where they show us all the interactions, how interactive the whole world is. But if you have noticed, I don't know if you have seen that, but if you notice, the guy that is talking or narrating that whole video at the event actually told us that that is what happens when you cheat at Gwent and a barkeeper throws out a customer. So that means we'll have Gwent in The Witcher 4, which is a huge news. I hope he didn't just say that because you know, we're Witcher fans and we know Gwent. I think that really means that we might see Gwent as some sort of a variation maybe, but we'll definitely have it in The Witcher 4, which is great news for me. But the most important question, or the most important things that I have not yet listed, and my opinions, the ties that we have to Kovir. There are, let me tell you, a lot of characters, I will tell you that right now, that we will meet in The Witcher 4 that we already know from either the books, but also from the games. Some we all know and love. Let me start with the first one being Triss Merigold. Guys, we will 100% meet Triss Merigold, and that makes me excited immediately, because I was always team Triss, even after reading all the books and playing all the games. I'm a guy that just thinks Triss is better for Geralt, and so it doesn't matter the ending. In The Witcher 3, Triss will go to Kovir. So if you reject Triss and you pick Yennefer, or you pick none of the two mages in The Witcher 3, she will actually tell you that she will sail to Kovir, and then she becomes the advisor to King Tancred of Kovir and kind of helps build a haven for mages there. And if the Ciri and Triss ending was chosen, so if you picked Triss as your romantic partner in The Witcher 3, she goes with Geralt to Kovir, and if Ciri becomes Empress, Triss still moves there, so there is not a chance in hell that we will not meet Triss in The Witcher 4. And I know already that the first time I will meet Triss in the game, I'll probably crash out completely. But Triss will appear in The Witcher 4, because Kovir is where she will be and where she was after The Witcher. Doesn't matter which ending you chose. So Triss is a character where I'm 100% certain that we will see her in The Witcher 4. Now there are some other characters that are very probable that we will see them in The Witcher 4. So if you've read the books, you probably have heard more about the Lodge of Sorceresses. It wasn't as big of a part in the Witcher games, especially not in The Witcher 3. But I can imagine that in Kovir, CD Projekt Red, they will bring back the Lodge of Sorceresses, especially if mages like Triss are there that have also been part of it. And Fringilla Vigo is one great example, or one great sorceress that we might see in the game. And even if not a formal lodge, Kovir could still be a central point for mage politics. Yennefer of Vengerberg, although not directly tied to Kovir like Triss is, Yennefer has still worked with the royal court of Kovir in the past, during her time with the Lodge of Sorceresses. And if Ciri is the protagonist, Yennefer is also likely to appear, possibly in a strained or diplomatic role, depending on the story. But Yennefer, in my opinion, is like a 70% chance that we will also see her in The Witcher 4. And we know that at the events of The Witcher 3, the king of Kovir is Tancred Thyssen, and Tancred is described in the books as clever, honorable and influential, and he was also a strong ally to neutral mages and a key player in northern politics. And he could also definitely appear in The Witcher 4 in a role akin to King Foltest in The Witcher 2, so a very powerful figure that impacts your decisions and also the fate of Kovir. Now, I don't need to tell you that we will most likely see Geralt in The Witcher 4. There have been a lot of rumors that he'll be kind of a side character, and now if we see Triss and Yennefer, man, Geralt is also kind of secured that we will see him for sure in The Witcher 4. And kind of a bonus lore note, in the Blood and Wine expansion of The Witcher 3, one of the epilogues includes a letter from Triss in Kovir that kind of describes her work there. And this, in my opinion, also gave CD Projekt Red kind of a reason to revisit that location and potentially reintroduce other characters through it. And I made a video a couple of months ago talking about The Witcher 4, my perfect Witcher 4, where I would like it to play was also a part of that video series. And I told you in the video that Kovir was definitely one of my most wished locations for an upcoming Witcher game. Now that we're actually getting it, you don't know how excited I am for this game. And while we never walked through Kovir in the original trilogy, its shadow was always kind of there, because over Triss, over the Lodge and over the future of magic itself, we've always kind of heard of Kovir. And so it will make a perfect Witcher 4, because if you want to replay all the Witcher games in a couple of years when The Witcher 4 has been out, it will make a lot more sense even, because we will know Kovir as this place, and they can also look at the games and the books regarding Kovir and make it as great as possible. And if we know one thing, CD Projekt Red never fails at open worlds. And let me know if you share my enthusiasm for The Witcher 4 after this demo gameplay reveal. Obviously, guys, we have to take those things with a big grain of salt, because, well, we know how it is. They oftentimes pretty much do those things over the top, and it doesn't look like that afterwards. but I'm still very hopeful. And now just the fact that we will be playing in Kovir as Ciri with those shit ton of possibilities that they have for the story and for the lore of the game, I'm just hella excited. As always, tell me your opinions on the game, on the reveal trailer in the comments, and I'll be very happy to read those. Alright guys, that was it from me in today's video. I wish you all an amazing day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.